Hi everyone, Sheree here. Today I'm going to be adding another spread into my A5 notebook. So every month this year I've been adding one new spread, and I'm planning on doing that throughout the year so that at the end of the year I'll have 12 double page spreads in this notebook. It's getting really chunky, but I'm absolutely loving it that way. I like to create my pages outside the notebook and then adhere them in so that I can add things like stitching and staples, things like that. And that's what's making it rather chunky, but I'm really enjoying it. So I am up to June. So I did my May spread last time. So now I'm up to June. So for that, I've got these rather embarrassing photos of me laughing my head off, but I'm going to scrap those today. So I really wanted to record how much I love to laugh, so that's what those photos are about. When I originally saw these photos, I just cringed. I was going to throw them out or delete them, but I've decided to go ahead and use them. So for this spread, I'm actually going to do this as my Take 3 challenge over on the Felicity Jane blog. And the 3 things that I'm choosing to focus on for this spread is the colour yellow, because I absolutely love the yellows in the Ginny kit for July. So I've got everything I can find that's yellow. I've also wanting to use the floral die cuts. So I've got those there, and I also want to do stamping. So I've got the Ginny stamp set there as well. So I have done a couple of things in preparation. I've cut a couple of strips of that yellow paper there, and that one is from the Ginny 6x6 paper pack. Absolutely loving this yellow. And I've also cut the scallop strip off the bottom of the solid yellow paper from the paper pack, and I'm thinking that's going to go across the bottom. I also grabbed a piece of paper from the Capri paper pack. I love these dots, and I've gone ahead and cut these 2 pieces out, and that was using the Sheree tag builder die set, this piece here. So what I'm planning on doing with those 2 pieces is to add them to the top of each of my photos. So I've already added some twine onto the hole of each of those little pieces there. And I'm going to back my journaling, which I've already printed out, with the other piece of that spotty paper. So I think I'm ready to make a start. I have actually, I'll just mention this as well. These leaves were attached to this floral die cut, I think over on this side, but I figured out that it wasn't going to fit on my page because I really want this large floral to go next to my journaling. So what I've done is trimmed those leaves off, and I'm going to actually tuck it in underneath, which is just going to give me a little bit more room. I'll be able to decide then where I want those leaves to go. So that's why those 2 pieces are separated, and I may even end up doing it to this one as well, just so that I can move those leaves in a little bit more, and it gives me a little bit more options of where I want those leaves to go. So I do have the little confetti pieces there from the Ginny die cut shapes pack as well, because they're yellow. I've got this little piece here from the die cut pack. I'm not sure if I'll use that one, but they're there just in case. I just wanted to show you that these 2 journaling cards from this kit are really beautiful yellow as well. I thought about using this Oh Happy Day one, but in the end I'm going to go with the stamp set for my title and some other little accents. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm going to pop you on fast forward and show you how I'm going to put this one together. Okay, so I've already stitched a border around the edge of each of the white cardstock pieces, and now I'm just adhering my yellow scalloped strip to the bottom of each page. So just using some double-sided tape on the back there, and stick it into place, making sure it's lined up nicely, and then just trimming off that edge. Next up, I've got those 2 yellow pieces to go at the top of the pages. So adhering those ones on now, and again I will need to trim off the excess from each of those. And I will be adding some stitching to those pieces very soon, but there's a couple of other things I want to do first before I get my sewing machine out again. So I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to add my journaling onto that spotty piece of Capri paper. And I'm also going to add those tag tops to the top of my photos as well. So I'm just adhering them onto the top edge with some double-sided tape there. Okay, so now I'm going to add stitching to each of those pieces. So next up, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. First, I've got the phrase here and now. That's going to be the title for my spread today. Just clean off that stamp. I already have these other stamps on my other block. I'm doing 2 in 1 here. I've got the word happiness and this is the best. So stamping both of those at the same time. And then I've got another phrase from this stamp set that says making the most of this moment. So stamping that onto this cardstock as well. Clean that one off, and then I'm going to grab my scissors and cut each of these out ready to use on the spread. So now I can start putting all the bits and pieces together on the pages, starting off by adhering my journaling into place, and then I can build the page from there. Alright, so that one's on there now. I do have that floral die cut that I want to go in that bottom corner. I do have some thin foam adhesive on the back of the floral die cut pieces just to add a little bit of dimension. So I'm just making sure I'm not covering up any of my journaling there. And then I've got those little leaves that I'm going to tuck in behind the edge. I'm just working out where I want it. So I'm going to put it at the top there. And that other stamped phrase I'm going to add at the very bottom of the page. I will add the date right at the bottom a little bit later. So I do have some of that same thin foam adhesive on the back of my title, and that's going to go just above the journaling there. Really loving the really fun font used in this stamp set this month. I've got a little yellow mini wide paper clip that I'm just adding to the side there just for an extra touch of yellow. So on this second page I've got my 2 photos. So I'm going to sort of have one up a little bit, the other one sort of down, and I do want the twine going towards the very top of the page. I'm going to end up trimming these leaves off of this other smaller floral piece that just wasn't sitting right on my photo. I don't have a lot of room in that spot. So by doing this, it allows me to sort of turn it on its side and still have the leaves where I want them to be. So I'm sticking that one onto the photo, working out my spacing, and then I can go ahead and start sticking these bits down as well. Okay, so I will start by sticking down that photo on the right side, making sure I do get the spacing right before I do adhere it down properly. Okay, so now I can stick that other photo down as well. And then I can go ahead and decorate. So that one's just going up a little bit higher, making sure my twine still reaches to the top of the page. Now my floral piece can go onto that first photo, just down in that bottom left corner. Now this is the best stamped piece. I'm just going to tuck in under the edge of the flower there. And then I've also got that happiness word, which I'm going to put at the top right of that second photo. I will grab my stapler and just attach those pieces of twine to that top yellow strip at the top of the page. So just a couple of staples in each of those. I like to sort of wrap it to the back so that I can staple it. Just holds it in place nicely, and then I can just get rid of any excess twine. So I will trim those off and pull the rest of that twine off the back there. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab my sewing machine. I'm just adding a little bit of stitching to those two stamped pieces, and now I'm just adding a little bit more yellow by adding some of those cardstock sequins from the die cut pack and a little starburst bit, just adding it in tucked under the edges of the flowers, and I've added the date at the bottom of that first page. So these pages are now done and ready to adhere into my A5 notebook. Just giving you a closer look at the little details here. You can see the stitching, those stamped pieces, those really pretty floral die cuts. There's stitching on the tag tops there as well. and I'll go ahead and add that into my A5 notebook, and that's another spread complete, which I'm really happy about. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've put this one together. Please let me know if you've got any questions about this one. Just leave it in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I look forward to bringing you another project from Felicity Jane very soon. You'll see a link down below to Felicity Jane if you'd like to check out any of these fun goodies for yourself. Okay, until my next project, have a great day.